Okay, so we are on the final step, and that is where we're going to add some decorations or some details using Sharpie. So there is a handout that is attached to the assignment that has a bunch of different little designs that you can use on your parrot. So the first thing I'm going to do is I like to add black tips. So I'm going to go in and add black tips to my leaves. I think it just makes it a little bit more interesting. And I am using the thick Sharpie for this. And when you add designs to your completed project that's colored, it just makes it look a little bit more interesting. So the other thing I want to do is I want to come down here to where I have this checkerboard, and I'm going to fill it in black. You can do a checkerboard as well. If you didn't do one when you first drew it, just go ahead and draw the checkerboard and then fill it in. Also, while I'm on this flower, I'm going to add some more details to it. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to add some lines coming down just to make it look a little bit more interesting. And then I'm going to come over here, and I'm still using the thick Sharpie, and I'm going to add some really thick lines to divide up this space. While I'm doing this, I'm also checking out the handout that I have attached to see if there's other design pieces that I want to add to this. It's always good to look at examples. Okay, so I'm going to add some dots. And see, now look how interesting these flowers look. They look so much better. Now up here, I'm going to thicken up some of these curves and lines. Just going to go in and thicken the lines. Just to make it look a little bit more interesting. Like that. Now let me look at the list up here and see. Okay, so I do see some swirls, and I'm going to take the ultrafine Sharpie and I'm going to draw the swirls in my sun. And there's no perfect way to do this. You just randomly put a swirl in there. And then on the edges, you just kind of do some little loops like this. And some loops here and loops there, and now it's all filled in. Doesn't that look cool? Yep. All right, and so for the head here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some polka dots down here just by tapping. make it look a little bit more interesting. And then on the wings, I'm going to add, I'm looking at the chart here, and I see some interesting circles that have dots around them. That looks pretty cool. And I might even do a half a circle here on the wing and a half a circle here. Maybe a half a circle there. Maybe one more right there. That looks interesting. Okay. And now I'm going to, let's see, I think I'm going to add something to the tail feathers here. So I'm going to look at the chart here and see what they have. Well, they have some lines. So I'll do that. I think I'll use my large Sharpie for that. Let's see, should I have another one down here? There we go. Okay. And so just by adding some simple lines, you make the piece look a little bit, a little bit more interesting. Oh, that looks good. I think I'm going to do one more thing. I think I'm going to add some lines along the sides of the leaf, like this, and then draw some lines. Feel free to copy my designs if you want. Feel free to grab some designs from the handout. I should always be willing to try something new. That's why I'm always wanting you to look at examples and not just draw something you already know how to draw, because then that's not very challenging, is it? Okay, so then I think I'm going to go down this way. So you want to add something to the leaves, the bird, the sun or the moon, the flowers, and the tree bark. And you want to make it look interesting. Once you have finished adding your designs to it, if you haven't put your name on the back, you want to go ahead and flip over and write your first and last name and your teacher's name. And then you want to turn this in with the assignment for today.